Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm fresh off a rough day of work and a rough awareness that the Bulls have lost to the Mavs and the Cavs after promising starts. I'm doing just fine. To your right, you see Diego Zuniga, my favorite
Yes, sir.
partner, podcast host in crime for basketball topics. Don't tell
Basically.
Corsian I say anything. He's still my partner in crime for football topics and my favorite podcast host for football. But welcome back, Diego. I feel like we haven't seen each other in a while. It's been a crazy week,
It's
and
it
it's
is also
already it's
been
almost the end of Tuesday. Like it's feels like the beginning of the week, and I'm already
yeah,
saying it's been crazy.
it's like that meme where it's like, oh, what a life, and then the it's like Tintin and his the older dude with him, and then Tintin's like, it's just Wednesday. That's the vibe you're on. And my
Dude, for
man's just
real, bro.
worn
I
out.
be I be forgetting the days and stuff. Like on Teams chat, I texted somebody meeting today, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing this event. It's a 2 day event." For context, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah,
doing this event tomorrow and Wednesday," because it felt like it was a Monday type of day, and I just
yeah,
didn't know what was going on in my head. So I meant to say Wednesday and Thursday, but yeah. Um, as you can tell, sleep deprived, and even when I'm not sleep deprived, I feel that way. So
nice.
welcome to adulting.
That is a cool thing. It's tough, man. But anyway, I'm
It
about the
is tough, man. You know what? You know what else is tough? OKC's defense. What a
yeah.
segue. You have to give me that one. Come
I
on.
was about
That
to
was
say
like
pro segue.
you you laid it off on the silver platter. I just swooped it down. So,
Easy.
great assist on your part. Man, I
Yeah,
I feel for Chet, the injury. That
yeah, man.
sucks. Um, I watched a Thinking Basketball podcast episode
All right.
because I wasn't watching much of OKC. And we've talked about how great their defense is going to be. And we talked about it like a crazy stat where, like, when Chad, Caruso, and Dort, I think, are on the floor, it's not that
Mhm.
often. And regardless of that, they still have like the number one defensive rating right now.
Yeah.
And um, I think they have a 97 defensive rating when I watched that video, and it was 16 points better than the league average. They are forcing
Insane.
21 turnovers per game man. That is
God.
normally when a team has like 15 or like 14 turnovers, like that's a rough night. And they're doing it at
Mhm.
21 turnovers a game.
Insane.
That is crazy. Now Chet has been like a huge like rim protector for them. Like we knew the blocking was still going to continue with it. And
Mhm.
they with losing Isaiah Hardenstein to start the year and then now losing Chet, that's going to be a little bit rough. But they have this lineup where they play five guards at a time, and they are not afraid to play Caruso or Dort at the five. And it's for whatever reason, teams are still shooting like a percentage lower at the rim, even with these guys guarding them and supposed mismatches. And it's all because of their wingspan, like their
Yeah.
wingspan and the way they create angles on the defensive side to stay back and help is pretty amazing, bro. It's pretty amazing. Like just the other day, like Shea had like 3 steals. That guy we knew wingspan is going to be a problem, but like it's
Yeah.
across the whole team. Like Case and Wallace, like picking people's pockets. Like
Yeah.
you you could probably bring a 7 man rotation even without Chet on like really great defenders on this team.
No, definitely. I mean, you already have two of the premier defenders in Luke Dort and Alex Caruso, and then you just fill the rest of the lineup with guys who are tall, 6'5", 6'6", and long, with wingspans around +2 or +3 their height. It's kind of it's kind of a tough lineup to stop, and especially with the turnovers, it took me a while to realize I actually have like a minus wingspan to height ratio. So it took me a while to notice that other people with longer arms could just pickpocket you so easily, especially me, someone with shorter arms. So it's gotta be difficult
Dang
out there
it.
getting hounded by
Okay,
them.
now the secret's out. I can't play defense against you anymore. Dang it.
It's all good. But yeah, so that'll be interesting for them, and I feel sorry for Chet because he'd missed a year and then played I think he played like all 82 games last year, and to just fall on your hip like that and fracture your hip like some solid bone, just fracture that is really scary. So hoping a speedy recovery for him. And I think the Thunder are just going in on what they did well last year. They were the highest turnover causing team last year. They're doing that again, and they kind of have to now because they don't have anyone to protect the paint, really. I think Dylan Jones, was it yesterday they played? Dylan Jones, one of their newer guys, he was playing pretty well for them. So um, that's something. That's a development that he might get more playing time. But yeah, no, it's a great team. Easily the number one seed in the West. So I like it. I
I
like what
think
I'm seeing from
even
them.
like I get it. The rim protection is going to be a problem for the next 10 weeks. I get it. But we look at this team as far as like trying to scheme like against them and get like a 4-on-3 matchup advantage. Even
Hmm.
4-on-3 does not work. I remember the Nuggets tried to get a corner three where like Aaron Gordon was sending like a pin down screen, and Lou
Hmm.
Dort just blows that up. Like he has to go through the screen. Like, and if you see Aaron Gordon in front of you trying to set a screen, you're like, I might as well give
Yeah.
up because I'm not getting around this guy. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Like Lou Dort will like duck and bend around like a defensive lineman, and
Yeah.
they still managed to get two on the ball on the guy in the corner who was supposed to have an open three.
Hmm.
It's insanity, like what these guys can do. Um, and it's just they just play like swarming defense, and they're able to recover so fast, read balls to tip them when they go into the post. Like it's gonna make a guy like Dylan Jones' life a lot easier when
Yeah.
defenses are dictating the angles offensive players have to take, because then all he's got to worry about is like meeting him at the spot and staying vertical or like blocking the shot. Like that's a
Yeah.
very easy way to become a great rim protector in the league. And I think the guys around, guys like Dylan Jones and centers coming up on that roster as they look to fill that need, their jobs are still going to be that easy.
Yeah.
Now, they're not going to go off like Chet did because Chet just has impeccable timing for a
Hmm.
player of his build and stature. But um, there's they're still going to find a way to get that rim protection somehow. So I'm not too worried.
Yeah. I mean, they made it to the second round of the playoffs as the one seed without a true center, quote unquote, and that was what everyone was saying last year. I mean, I was saying it as well. But yeah, so I think just this perimeter defense is something special. I don't think we've seen anything like it ever. Maybe I can't think of another team that's just clamped up on the perimeter without someone on the back line. It's usually the other way. You usually have your Gobert, your Roy Hibbert. I don't know any other guys. Those are the two first ones. But those guys, like you have those two guys in the paint, and everyone on the outside's like, okay, like we'll try our best, but I'm not tripping because I got my guy behind me to help. But that's not what they have now, and they're really clamping down. I have the marquee matchup, basically the the Thunder Clippers game from last night on here on my other monitor, and it's like 5 minutes left in the third quarter. The Clippers already have 20 turnovers. Like that's insane. This is just what the Thunder do. They're up by 17. So,
They force you in uncomfortable positions, man.
mhm.
One team that was able to get them, Golden State.
Yeah.
They are 8-2. They are tied with the Thunder right now, and the Suns, I believe. It's like a three-way tie at the top of that conference.
Mhm.
That's just a very difficult like conference to deal with because like let's see, like Thunder are on top because they have one more win, but then you
Yeah.
got Suns, Warriors, and the Nuggets. We'll talk about them later. 7-3, and like most of the teams like in the top eight have 4 losses. Like that's it. Like very
Yeah.
good start for these teams coming out of the gate. But
Hmm.
with Golden State in particular, like I didn't think we saw this coming, especially after they lose Thompson and they didn't have like a really good season. Their bench was to be questioned. Um, it's they're doing it by numbers, like strength. That you think about like their
Yeah.
dynasty and their numbers, like strength and numbers is very prevalent again with this team. You see it a lot more in detail. And Steph is not going off every single game.
Hmm.
He's hitting the under on like plenty of games by a lot. Like I think just the other day I saw a game he had like 12 points. I'm like, oh, that's not Steph. But it doesn't matter
Yeah.
because of the guys they continue to build around. Like you get Porzensky, you get Kuminga playing well, but most importantly, Buddy Hield.
Mhm.
I tried to tell you guys with this Warriors team, like I never understood why. I think he was on the Sixers, like last year. Like I never
Yeah.
understood why they let him go, like in the first place. Like when you have a good shooter who's just not playing well, you don't dump a shooter like that. You keep him and you figure out a way to make him play well. Like
Mhm.
you don't not in this league, you hold on to shooters. You do not give them to other teams. And it feels like the Golden State Warriors got gifted Buddy Hield. Because he's been playing exceptionally well. The spacing and the shooting, and the confidence he's playing with is amazing. Their 12-man rotation has no player logging over 30 minutes a night, which is kind
Yeah.
of wild. Draymond is playing out of his mind on the defensive end. But back to Hield, like Hield has improved a lot. Like scoring is like career high so far. Defense
Mhm.
has gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Like it's he when he's playing like this, good luck trying to get Steph when he gets going. And
Mhm.
like when you have those guys with Hield and Curry playing the way they're playing, and Draymond being more confident taking threes now, that's something I've noticed just watching clip to clip.
Okay.
It opens up the floor for Jonathan Kuminga to just get
Yeah.
20 buckets any given night.
No, I definitely agree, and I think the Warriors are really just getting back to what they did to start their dynasty. I mean, you play a lot of guys, right? I mean, in that 2015 season, they're playing Leandro Barbosa, David Lee, Sean Livingston, like a lot more guys than most people are accustomed to. But also, I think just this gives a lot more energy. Some people have compared it to like Steve Kerr running like an Olympic team where you kind of have to keep guys running, or you either sub guys out a lot or they're going to play a lot of minutes. But I think I think it's really helpful because that's that's the one big thing about the Warriors. It's like, yeah, right. They shot all the threes, they did all that, and that helped them win. But the biggest thing was they were such a great defense at the beginning, especially, and that's what they did. I mean, yeah, you beat the Celtics and you beat the Thunder. The Celtics without Jalen Brown. I think the Thunder had Chet still, so you can't really take away from that one. But just the way they were able to make Tatum uncomfortable in that first half, he did not want to be there. Every time he got the ball, double instantly. So it's just the way they're playing is very good, and I think just see so much motion, and I think it's a big thing of the big difference between the Sixers and the Warriors. Like Buddy Hield couldn't work because like to put it in the most basic sense, Sixers ball is just Embiid post up, everyone just stand there, and you think a shooter would work there, but I guess it doesn't work perfectly with how Embiid wants to play, but in Golden State everyone. It's like a Spurs as 2014 Spurs vibe where everyone can touch the ball, everyone can make decisions, and that makes the whole team in general more dangerous than anything that the Sixers could do because you're kind of just running through one guy. In this case, everyone's got the ball, everyone's deciding, everyone's doing something. So I think that's the biggest reason why the Warriors look really nice. And the big thing about that too, playing defense, being as energetic on offense, is because they got younger. You lost you lost two of the oldest guys on the team, on Thompson and Chris Paul, and you replace those minutes with Pajemski, someone who's super like quick, agile, and like obviously like young. Like he's I don't want to say that like Thompson and Paul are washed, but they're definitely not as fast twitches as these younger guys. And give Kaminga more time to develop. Moses Moody was a guy I really thought should have gotten more minutes last year, and he's been hitting those threes and playing really well this year. So I'm happy for him. He's a good shooter, man. I feel like he's just so end of the bench that people didn't really
Yeah,
recognize.
he hasn't got a lot of opportunity last year, so
Yeah,
it's I haven't watched much of the Warriors in person, but when I have seen clips of them, they just the one game they just started out really slow, and I'm like, man, these guys suck without Curry. And then next thing you know,
yeah,
third and fourth quarter, they're just like they're up by like 10 or 20 without Curry, and it's like, how did that happen? How did they get the offense to do that? And I love what you said about the spacing and the motion and how it reminds you of the Spurs because that's something they've got to before KD had got to the team, and they did
yeah,
a really good job of incorporating it. And Steph has got better and better at this, and he's the best point guard in the world at moving without the ball. Like
yeah.
he's the threat whenever he steps on the court. That's how
Mm,
lethal he is. Like with the ball, without the ball.
just
And you see
anything.
that as the leader of the team, as an offense, you're like, oh, okay. if I just keep hustling, playing hard, running when I don't have the ball, like still being active, I
Mhm.
will get wide open opportunities like this, and my life will be a lot easier. So,
Oh, yeah.
um, yeah, and total credits to them, man. They look amazing out there. They are a real title contender this year.
No, for sure. Um, I think I think it's true. I think they look interesting. I think a big thing though is that being at the 10 game mark, it's so hard for me. Like I'm living and dying with every Mavs loss here, man. And like but it's just 10 games, right? We still have like 72 more games and just to keep that in mind. And anything can happen. I mean, injuries a lot now are really gonna take a toll. I mean, the Pelicans are down horrendous, man. They have no one. Zion's not really playing. He's on one of my fantasy teams. So
Dude, I was
yeah.
so excited to watch them against the Magic. I turned the TV on and I'm seeing no Zion, no Paolo, no CJ McCollum, no Trey
Uh,
Murphy. I'm like, who is there on the team that I can watch? Like, there's nobody.
yeah, no DeJounte. Like I forget DeJounte's even like on the team now on the Pelicans. It's tough. It's tough, and I think a big thing for that is that it's an Olympic year, right? A lot of guys didn't have their full off season like they'd like to, but it's kind of worrisome. Like, do we really need to think about having less games? Although, like, I'm someone that like I would be so mad if we changed it because then you can't compare the stat like the wins to losses the same way. But it might be worth it for these players that just cannot stay on the court. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to get more subbing going. I don't know. The Warriors could be innovating with that, but whatever. Yeah,
I don't
little
think the
tangent.
star players are like that very much.
I don't know.
Alrighty.
I'd rather be healthy, in my opinion. But what do I know?
I mean, people play hurt all the time and
It's
they
also
just want
true.
to play. They just want to play. Okay. Um, you got something to say about the Nuggets?
I unfortunately have a lot to say about the Nuggets because the Mavs played them. Well, I watched them lose to the Thunder the first game, right? And I was like, oh yeah, the Nuggets are down bad. I was really excited. And then like having to go to OT, like we've talked about against the Raptors, against the Nets, having these tough games against, I don't say bottom feeder teams. They're competitive right now, but bottom feeder teams, right? So then they kind of gotten a groove back, even though they lost Aaron Gordon in that game or after that game that he like shot the lights out. Uh, just Jokic is playing on a different level. Jokic is improving on his third MVP season, scoring more points than he ever has at 29.7. It's just insane to me. And especially against the Mavs without Derek Lively or PJ Washington, like there were so many plays where Jokic gets up to the front of the rim, chucks something up, misses, and he's like, "Oh, but here's the ball right here again." No one, Daniel Gafford's nowhere close to him because he got pushed off, and it's just a layup. And so stuff like that against the Mavs
Pause it though.
kind of
I
easy.
just gotta read you the 3 lines real quick.
Yeah.
37 points, 18 rebounds, and how
Oh,
many assists?
like 11.
15. This man had a triple double where his lowest category was 15.
What's the minutes played though? Give me the minutes played.
That
It's
that
got to be
doesn't matter,
40.
dude. That doesn't matter. Okay, you want to go there? Let's. How about Kyrie? 43 points
Oh,
and 6 threes. Okay, on
also a lot of
17
minutes.
field goals. All right, you
Yeah.
want to go there? I'll do it. I'll do it for the Mavs as well.
Bro.
Sensational performances on
Yeah, man.
both Kyrie and Jokic. Like
There
that's
was
I'm lost for words. Like if you, I get it. The Mavs were down a couple centers, but the way we were talking about this Nuggets team like
yeah.
at the start of the season. And then Jokic just pulls that out of his hat when everybody
Mm-mm.
knows he's the best player on the floor. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
That's
Everybody knows.
it's incredible, man. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and they also beat the Thunder, I think, the game before. And yeah, some people might say like I think they were trying to get that call that it might have been a goaltend on a block from Peyton Watson. Like Shea, basically they're shooting free throws. Jokic gets the rebound off a miss. They could keep it to win the game or something like that, or go to OT. And then Alex Caruso takes the ball from him, no foul at all, gives it to Shea. Shea walks it up, doesn't like attack right there in transition against Westbrook in isolation. And eventually goes up and gets blocked by Peyton Watson on a floater-esque shot that looked really close to a goaltend, but I don't know. It wasn't like, I don't think it was. And so, like, in that sense, winning a game like that gave him so much confidence. And I think just there's nothing. There's still nothing you can do against Jokic. It pisses me off because I'm like, I want that to be the Mavs, and it's like it's just rough. But I will. The only caveat I'll say is that the Nuggets are totally fine. But how long can Jokic do this? He's been very available these past few years, but he's never played this many minutes, put up these insane kind of numbers. And we've been saying his numbers are insane for years. So what's gonna happen? I mean, I'm not like I don't want him to get injured, right? So like I'm down to see him keep doing this and keep pushing the barriers, but I just want to make sure he doesn't do that and injure himself. And that'd be the biggest, I think, like scar on the Nuggets front office. If it's their fault, their best player, probably the best player in all of Nuggets history, easily, just lost out, got injured, something bad happened because they didn't want to pay their guys. I was literally talking to people over the weekend about that. I was like, these owners are just so cheap. Like, how do you win a championship and don't uh, pay your guys to go back? But anyway, too much ramblage. But yes, you get my point.
Malone was calling for KCP to stay. So I think
No, for sure.
I think it's not on the coach and the players. I think it's more of like an upper
No,
management situation.
it is.
But yeah, I want to see Jokic on Denver forever, bro. I mean, I would love for him to be on the Bulls, but like realistically, that's not happening. They are not letting go of Jokic. Like,
if he leaves, the Nuggets messed up. I mean, they got what they wanted, right? They got a chip.
they got a ring, but
yeah,
like they could have got a ring last year. They can get a ring this year. Like they're my pick. Like they're good, man.
Yeah.
Like they're good with Jokic.
Yeah, I'm wondering right now in a series against the Celtics with Jaylen Brown, no Porzingis. I feel like it's close, but with Porzingis, I think that complicates things. I think with Porzingis, the Celtics might get a little edge, but we'll see how he comes back. Even I mean, I think he still has like another month till he even thinks of looking at the court. So we'll see.
That's even then it's a good matchup because
No,
the
it'll be a
Celtics don't really have like the right body type to deal with the combination of Gordon and Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get me wrong, they have Porzingis.
Yeah.
So that's a calling card there. But do you really trust me with like to put Jason Tatum on and Jaylen Brown on like Aaron Gordon for like 48 minutes? I don't. I don't. Like that's a tough ask because he's just a different like Gordon is dynamic in a different way than like a lot of like the small forwards that Tatum and Brown have advantages on.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. Like in depth wise, I agree with you. The Celtics have the edge there. But top end wise, with like that combination, that's and it's gonna be hard for them to deal with Michael Porter. But that's just like a different element too. That's like a different. Like it will be a fun NBA Finals series if that comes to fruition.
Yeah. Now I kind of want that to happen just so we can discuss this on the pod, like what those matchups are.
Yeah, like what's the strategy? Because I'm telling you, I think their front court and then Porter, like that's. I don't think anybody in the league can deal with that. That's maybe the Lakers have like really like leveled up a tad bit more defensively.
I don't even want to
like
think
LeBron is old. Like Anthony Davis has not had luck against Jokic. Like that's like they're the closest like personnel wise that can deal with them, I think. And then the Wolves, like the Wolves kind of got to prove it with Randall. Like they did a really good job last year, but they got to prove it with Randall.
Randall's big body, but I don't know if he's like tall enough to stop Jokic like Karl Anthony Towns did, or at least like give him a bit more of trouble. But we'll see. It's very interesting.
Okay. Talk to me about like how the Kings just wowed against the Suns just recently.
So this is me as a Mavs fan watching after the Mavs lost to the Nuggets. And then I saw these Kings in a close game against the Suns, who we had just lost to on Friday. Everyone here knows who I was cheering for. And the Kings did not disappoint, man. In that overtime, it was literally a masterclass of like mid-range jumpers going in from not just DeMar DeRozan, but also De'Aaron Fox. Like at one point, it was mostly DeMar. Like I have like the score summary. So
Mid-range
you
maestro.
start, yeah, DeMar makes 18-foot pull-up jump shot. Then there's an and one, so he gets the free throw. Then he makes a driving layup. Then he makes another 18-foot step back jump shot, and which is another and one. That's 6 points already, just him. And then at that point, I'm just like, my man can't miss. Like, just give it to him. And you know what the Kings say? The Kings say, no, we had enough fun with DeRozan. Let's give it to De'Aaron Fox. So then he makes a layup. I guess it's a 2-foot 2-point shot. Then he makes an 11-foot pull-up shot. Then another 11-foot pull-up shot, and then a 20-foot pull-up shot. Like the only mid-range they missed. No, they didn't. They didn't miss any mid ranges. The only guys to score in overtime were Fox and DeRozan in that game, and they didn't miss any mid rangers or inside the two.
Starting with the
Fox missed
three-pointer,
three.
too. Like, that's like, anything about DeRozan, like, that's the last thing he'll take.
Yeah,
Like, not to say he's bad at it. He wants the mid-range shots. That's his comfort group.
yeah,
That's an
man.
amazing
So,
stat, by the way. That's an amazing stat.
like, just off that, like, obviously I was happy because the Suns lost, but it was just nice. Like, just watching that live, just how Fox got to his spots. Like, he got right into the paint, just pulled up right there. It was amazing. So I just want to shout that out. Sabonis has been balling, right? We've been knew that, but yeah, and the Kings are 6-4 currently. Not like super high in the West, but I don't know. I just love this fourth quarter scoring. That's all I really thought about when DeRozan went there. Like now you have a behemoth there in the fourth. It was fun to watch. It was good. I don't think nothing
Yeah.
else really happened.
Like
KD's
Keegan
out for the
Murray is one of
Suns.
my favorite players on that team. Just as far as
Hmm.
a shooter, like he and Trey Murphy might be my favorite shooters to watch in the
Yeah,
Western Conference side, just from like role players that are just like they would be like capable one or two options like on any other team if given the reps.
hmm,
Yeah, like he had a massive tip in at the end of that game. Um, Kings have a lot of guys. They have a lot of guys. Like
yeah.
you keep forgetting about Sabonis just like seemingly averaging a double double every time he touches the floor.
Yep.
Um,
It's easy.
and
It's easy for him.
and De'Aaron Fox almost had a triple double in his own right. Like most of these starters played really, really well. Like when
Yeah.
your worst scorer was like Keegan Murray and he comes out clutch for you like that and has a double double, like that's special. Like
Yeah. And I
two,
think
three guys on the starting lineup had a double double.
yeah.
What the
I
heck?
just pulled up their box score too.
That is wild.
I think for Keegan, the big thing is just he can kind of do anything. And like I don't want to say he's limited, like he's being restricted in Sacramento, but like I feel like there's a world where Keegan's the best player on the team and he does something. Now, right now he's filling his role perfectly. I mean, 3 and D will clamp up the other team's best player, like small forward, and will hit threes, will rebound, clearly, right? The double double. He's playing really well. And I'm fine to see him still on the Kings, but eventually if this blows up, Keegan could have his own team somewhere, be part the second, third option on a really good team. So what is he? I think
That's what I'm saying, man.
he's a,
Bulls trade for him. Trade for this man right now.
I have to check. I think he's a third year player, so he must be like 22. He's 24. Ah, I'm I'm
Doesn't
younger
matter.
than him still. Let's go. I was curious.
Okay. Who wins the NBA Cup?
Jeez, for true. Well, who wins? God, I don't know, man. I have no idea.
You gonna say the
Well,
Cavs?
I know that was my first thought because they're like, but they're what group are they in? Let me see. NBA Cup groups. Like, thank you, Google. Give me the groups. Okay. So they're in a group with the Celtics. That's tough. But then the Bulls, the Hawks, and the Wizards.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Don't be dismissing the Bulls like that.
Okay, I won't dismiss the Bulls, but they beat them last night, so I can hope that they should beat them again.
Okay. All righty.
But okay, like think about that. That's I don't want to say it's an easy group, but that's a kind of cupcake group. I mean, any group in the East is more cupcake than the West. Like the Mavs are with the Nuggets, the Pelicans, the Warriors, and the Grizzlies. What is that?
What
Like
about the Thunder? What happened to the Thunder?
the Thunder? No, that they're in West B. I'm talking about West Group C.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, the
That's a
Thunder, they
cupcake
play the
division. That's
Suns.
okay.
I know. Like the Suns don't have KD. It's slightly easier. The Lakers are just confusing. I don't even want to think about
Oh
whatever
no,
they're
I was talking
doing.
about Group C. That's the Group C for cupcake group.
No, no, come on. I was so mad. No, because I was mad when I saw it because
That's
it was way
fun.
before the season. I knew the Grizzlies were going to be way better because they're not injured. The Warriors are always a tough team, and just the Nuggets. Like
Stop complaining. You got the
anyway,
Pelicans in that group. You're all good.
I know that's the only bonus. So we have the Warriors tonight. Captain Clay game. They're literally the Warriors are like at Chase Center. They're giving out like sailors captain hats for the game to honor Clay. So he better go out. I just want to win a game, man. I need a win. Please. Like that's how I'm feeling right now.
Who's got the worst record right now? Is it the Bulls or the Mavs? I can't tell.
I actually don't know. Let's see.
The Bulls are 4-7 going into this. So, I mean, my pick
We're 5 and
is
5.
let's see.
Yeah, I didn't say my pick.
NBA Cup.
Let me lock back in.
I'm gonna say the Thunder. I think the Thunder could still pull it off. Like even without Chet, I think they can do it. If it's not them, it's got to be the Cavs. It's got to be the Cavs. Like the way Mobley's playing, like that's
true.
It's very difficult.
To zig or zag, I'm picking the Celtics. They're gonna be mad this year after losing to the Pacers last year, and Pacers, they're one of the losses that the Celtics have, and they might want to see them in the eliminatory rounds, in the playoff rounds.
Square up, and duke it out.
Yeah.
Alrighty, man. I know you got somewhere to be in a half hour, so I'll give you that back. Thank you guys so much for watching. Little half hour goodness of talking basketball, just what we like to do. 4 topics for you. Should be fun. We'll see what comes true with the NBA Cup. I'm excited to watch it. I think it's a great addition. We're gonna have a great slate of first games coming up tonight. So, stay tuned, and we'll recap that all next week.
All right. See you guys next week. Make sure to follow.
Yeah, you got it. You got it this time. Wow. Follow us on our channel, Haman.a.mission Instagram, I'm on a mission YouTube, full-length videos, guys. Till then, adios, amigos. We'll see you later.
Love it.